Every balisong flipper needs a solid screwdriver. Whether you're tightening pesky pivots or completely taking apart your balisong for maintenance, having a driver on hand can be a lifesaver. But a screwdriver is a screwdriver, right? Well, no, not exactly. Each screwdriver is going to have its own set of strengths and weaknesses depending on the design. And today, I'm going to unpack the design of the HOTO Manual Precision Screwdriver Pen. What I like, what I don't like, and I'm going to specifically answer the question, is this a worthy balisong driver? Before I dive into that, I've got two quick things to get out of the way. First is the price. The HOTO screwdriver comes in at $20 with 3 color options, but I do have a 30% off discount code BENJAMIN30, which brings it down to $14. Which means that yes, this video is sponsored by HOTO, as they sent this product to me for free for the purpose of making this review, and the discount code does give me a small commission for every purchase that uses it. Money! But all thoughts and opinions are my own. I'm not required to say anything specific, nor is anyone at HOTO going to see this video until after it's posted. So why am I doing a screwdriver review? Honestly, when I first got the email proposal, my initial thought was, nah, I only review balisongs. But a good screwdriver is a required tool to have if you flip. I always keep one nearby when I inevitably needed to tighten a pivot screw. And while I've had this Cobalt one on my desk for years, and more recently have used this LDY driver and this Work Pro one, none of them were without downsides. When HOTO reached out to me with the idea for a review, I looked into their product and it looked super promising. I saw other creators had made reviews of it, and so many comments were vouching for how great the screwdriver is. So I figured, sure, let's give it a shot and see how well this works for balisongs. Because my other screwdrivers all left something to be desired. The Cobalt one does store all the bits I need, but it's inconveniently located on the outside. Plus, this rubber grip can slide down when I'm working with particularly stubborn screws, which is really annoying and makes it harder to use. The LDY driver has great portability and bit storage inside. It comes with 3 of the same T10 bits, but at least on mine, the bits are super difficult to take out, especially when they get pushed all the way down when using proper screwdriver technique. Plus, while its shape allows for high torque, it fails in ergonomics, being really annoying to fully add or remove a screw. There's a reason most screwdrivers are cylindrical. It's good for small adjustments or loosening really stuck screws, but anything beyond that, and I'd rather pick up something else. Now there's this Work Pro one I have, which is really great for getting lots of torque, but it's chunky and doesn't have any bit storage, so it's not great for portability. Plus, it takes 1/4 inch bits, which I only have in T10 and up. Now, as I have been using this HOTO screwdriver for about 4 months now, for everything balisong related, from quick adjustments during a flipping session to complete disassembly and reassembly for mod work, in addition to regular pocket knife maintenance as well, I even used it for building this model and other household tasks which require a precision driver. And I can say with full confidence that as a balisong screwdriver, it works well. I mean, of course it does. It's a screwdriver. These all work just fine. Just as long as the bit steel is decent quality and the body is large enough to actually get a decent amount of torque, you'll be set. Just stay away from these L-shaped keys that are often included with balisongs and use an actual screwdriver, and you should be okay. But what sets a particular screwdriver apart isn't that it drives screws any differently, but rather how its secondary features add or take away from the overall experience. As for the HOTO Precision Screwdriver, it has everything you need in this portable and high quality package, which makes it a joy to use at home and an easy choice for taking on the go. As a screwdriver, the process of actually using it to screw and unscrew screws is good. But it's not perfect, as there were 2 times where it really struggled, to the point where I had to use a different driver. The first time was when I was taking apart my Superfly for the last time. One of the screws was so tight that I was not able to get a good enough grip to be able to loosen it. The Superfly has double-sided screws, and I had no problem holding the opposing screw in place with the HOTO, but ended up using my LDY driver to loosen the screw from its steadfast grasp. Of course, I switched to the HOTO once I got it started. There was one more time when I first got this replicant in, and I was taking it apart. One of the pivot screws was cranked down really tight, and I could not for the life of me get a grip to loosen it. I actually took this video, it is not a reenactment, showing me attempting to loosen it and failing. As you can see, my hand is slipping around the driver. It's not that there isn't enough torque to where the driver can't turn the screw, or that the bit was slipping, but rather, I simply couldn't grip it hard enough. And once again, the LDY driver did not struggle with loosening it, as you can see in the video. Other than those 2 times, I haven't had any other issues with my hand slipping on the driver body. The 12-sided body means it won't roll away if you place it down carefully, but it still fits very comfortably in the hand. It's made from aluminum, it feels very solid, and it has a surface finish that feels very similar to the squid trainer actually. Besides those 2 instances I mentioned earlier, it's thick enough to where I can get a good enough grip and torque for most things. While its shape does mean that it's possible to run into issues with really tight screws, For most tasks, it lends itself to being really comfortable and enjoyable to use. What's really nice about this driver is that it has a good amount of bit storage located within the body. It has 12 double-sided bits for a total of 24 different bits. I really do like the bits being stored in the screwdriver because it means I will always have what I need with me, so running into an unexpected screw size is no problem. The bit holder has this freely rotating head, which is a common feature for screwdrivers to allow it for more control while driving, letting your hand rest fully on it while still allowing for unrestricted rotation. It has a buttery smooth action, but it does not spin for a long time like a fidget spinner, which gives it a more controlled feel while using it for its intended purpose, but it would make it a bit more fun to just spin it if it did. It's still very satisfying to fidget with, and that nice magnetic disengage before dropping it back with a click is equally as enjoyable. Now, while I do like the convenient bit storage, it is a bit finicky to get the bits out. You can just grab them, but I find it's a bit easier if I push on one end of the bit so it sticks out more. Each bit is held in place magnetically so they don't just fall out, but if you drop it while it's open, some bits will fly out. Try not to do that. Of course, you shouldn't be dropping this nearly as much as a BALISONG, so it's not really a problem. Now, there are a lot of bits, and it can be difficult to tell which is which, especially because the labels are on only one side of the bit, so unless you're very particular to put it back facing out, it can take some searching to find what you need. Luckily for me, pretty much all my BALISONGs just use the T10 bit, so I just leave that in and I'm ready to go. The magnet in the tip ensures that the bit is not going anywhere. I'm throwing it as hard as I can. And since the second most commonly used bits are the T8 and T6, which I use for my pocket knife maintenance, I just keep it next to the empty slot so it's easy to spot whenever I need it. As for the bits themselves, here is a diagram showing all of the available fastener drive types. Like I mentioned, it includes the most important T10 in addition to T8 and T6, which will cover most BALISONGs. However, it does not have a T15 bit, which some BALISONGs, such as those from MachineWise and other high-end BALISONGs, do use. In addition to that, each bit type only occurs once, meaning that if you do strip one of the bits, then you're out of luck. I actually did strip my T8 bit because I didn't realize I left it in when I went to tighten a T10 screw. It didn't fully strip, but it was enough to where with continued use, it has gotten to the point where it can no longer function properly. Of course, that was completely user error. You should never try and use a smaller bit size on a larger screw. But it's really annoying as that was the only T8 bit that comes with this screwdriver. HOTO does not sell just replacement bits, but you could get third-party bits if you ever need them, as these are standard 4mm size bits. I've seen singular ones being sold online if you need something that doesn't come with it, like the T15, or if you just want to replace one that gets damaged like my T8 did. Luckily for me, I'd previously purchased this set from Roxxon, which already has a T8 bit included. It works as expected in the HOTO driver, both in the shaft for driving, and it can be stored in the body since it is a 4mm bit. And just to be clear, that is much smaller than the 1/4 inch size that Nabali sends out with their pivot needle or LDY with their driver. The strengths of the HOTO screwdriver for a BALISONG flipper is its portable package and high quality feel in the hand and satisfying fidget factor. It's a fantastic daily driver to use for general purpose at home or on the go, and it just feels good to pick up and use. While I've covered how it's not the perfect BALISONG flipper screwdriver, as it can run into issues with really tight screws, and you may need to get some third-party bits depending on your situation, this is by far my favorite screwdriver I own to use for BALISONGs, not only because it's enjoyable to use, but it feels like it belongs alongside my collection. The high-quality aluminum body and its satisfying fidget factor means it looks good sitting alongside my collection and feels good to use it too. Overall, if you're looking for a high-quality screwdriver with a self-contained form factor, making it easy to keep on a desk or throw it into a BALISONG case, this HOTO driver is a great option. I'm sure that you, my fellow flipper, share in my appreciation for well-executed design and high-quality machining that will not go unappreciated in your hands. And if you're planning on picking one of these up, don't forget to use my code BENJAMIN30 to save 30% off and support me while you're doing it. I hope this review helps. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and thank you so much for watching.